Heidi ho, my crafty friends. This is Lori at the Ladybug Journals. Thank you for joining me here today at the craft table. I'm so glad that you did. So today we are going to, now I want to make sure that you can see this well. So I'm going to stand up here real quick. Make sure you can see this. Okay, so there are my hands. Okay, so you can't see over here, so I need to scoot this. Okay, so today we're working in our little art journal. Let me get everything, so I want to make sure you can see everything that I'm doing here, because I'm going to be using my stamping platform, and I want to make sure you can see the platform well. Okay, I think you can, because I'm going to be closing this onto this. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing here, let me move this here, and let's get this over here. Alrighty, so what I did was I lined up the stamp onto my little card that I want to use. And then let me scoot this over. And then what I do is I take the back of the stamp. This is the sticky side. And I turn it over. And I lay it onto the platform where I want it. Okay? And I squish it down so that I know that, that's where I want it. And then I'll kind of hold it. Now these are the magnets that will hold my card in place. And I'm going to scoot them out of the way. And then I'm going to close it up for a minute. And I'm just going to let the card drop and kind of use my fingers here to manipulate it around. And I'm going to use my paintbrush here and stick it under here and get my card where I want it, right there. Now I'm going to open this up and I'm going to hold it right here where I want it. And then I'm going to put my magnets on it. Okay? And that's going to hold it where I want it. Hold on, I'm losing my magnet. Now before I stamp anything, I'm going to close it up and I'm going to make sure that that's where I want it. Okay, that magnet is in the way. And I don't have it centered. So I can scoot it up a little bit. Now let's try it again. And the top of that magnet is still in the way a little bit. So let's turn this around. Okay, that's better. Okay, so I have the card and the stamp where I want it. I can actually move this out a little bit. And try it again. Now, I don't have any ink on my stamp yet. And that's the one thing I like about this really well, is I can kind of play around with it, make sure I have it where I want it before I put ink on it. And then once I get it where I want it, see, I got my bottom crooked. Okay, now I can ink it. Okay, now I can ink this. Now, I inked around the card already, and I used my Distress ink in Vintage Photo. Okay, this is Distress ink. It's not oxide, it's ink, so it's permanent. But it's Vintage Photo. Okay. Now I can use any color I want on this. Okay. And what I'm going to put on there is this. I'm going to put this little bird on here. It's going to go on there like that. And underneath the little bird is kind of a bluish color. And I have that color oxide down here at the bottom. I just have to find him here. He's in the blues. Let me move my washies. He's down here in the blues. I think he's right here. It's called Weathered Wood. And he matches my little bird. Just like that. That's what I'm going to stamp in. Can you see that? The weathered wood matches the undertone of the bird. So that's what I'm going to use to stamp my stamp. And then after I do that, and he came off of this stamp set. And somewhere I have the cover of the stamp set. He came off of this stamp set. We used this one, this stamp the other day. And I've never used this one. And every time we make something in our art journal, I've been making a card. Either a journaling card or a tag, you know, to go with it. So, I thought that I would go on and make the card first. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I'm getting plenty of ink off of it. Because I don't use this one very much. Okay, so I need to do a little bit. I need to do it like this. Let's make sure I'm getting plenty of ink over here. And I like using this platform because I can always re-ink if I need to. Okay, let's make sure I get my keys. And I've never used this stamp before. Okay, so I'm going to take this baby wipe and I am going to wipe across the bottom here where I kind of boo-booed. And I think I'm okay. And then I'm going to wipe off my mat. Okay, so let's see how we did. So to use this now let me scoot you back into frame. You close it up. And then you push it down. So let me make sure you can see what I'm doing. Oh yeah, you can see what I'm doing. You push it down and you hold it down on your page. And because of those little magnets, you really have to hold it down. And you just give it a minute to let it kind of absorb into the paper. Okay. And then when you open it, you can kind of tell, you know, did you miss someplace? Do you need to go over it again? And I can already tell from where I have it being held down, the middle of my little typewriter I missed. So I'm going to open it back up. See, and you can tell I missed the middle of my typewriter. So once I open it back up, I can go back to the middle of my typewriter, and because I haven't moved the stamp or the card, I can go back over these areas and I can re-ink those areas. Okay, so I need to adjust my magnet there, because instead of getting ink at the top of the card, I inked the magnet, or I stamped on the magnet. That probably didn't help, did it? Okay. So big stamps like this, I do like using this. So let's try it this way. Let's see if we can get these on here. This is about, I don't use this for smaller ones But this one's a little bit more intricate. Let me get my hair out of my face here. And you can redo this as many times as you want, because as long as you don't move it, you can redo it. Let me make sure we got this upper corner here. Let's get the middle. All right, so let's try it again. Let's put that up there. Let's make sure you can see. Okay, let's push it back down. And let's give it a minute. And I think there's some words right there, Corona. Do you guys remember typing on a Corona typewriter when you were in school? Oh gosh, I do. I remember taking typing class in school. Oh my goodness, I remember those. I remember when it was my turn to have an electric typewriter in typing class. I was so excited that I got an electric typewriter. Because all we had were the manuals, and we only had in school, like, in my class, we only had, like, there were 30 of us in class, and we only had 5 electric typewriters. And I was so excited when it was my turn, because we rotated every week. And I was so excited when it was my turn to get an electric typewriter that I asked for one for Christmas. Okay, so let's see how the second stamp did. Well, it did better up there. I still don't have a perfect one down there. My bird looks better. Okay, well, I'm not going to worry too much about it because this little bird is going to cover up the middle of it, because he's going to sit right there. There. Now, if you're a perfectionist, you can keep going, and you can keep, you can keep stamping. My weathered wood is a little dry. I've used him quite a bit. So that's going to sit right there. I'm not going to glue him down right this minute. I'm going to allow this oxide to dry a little bit before I put anything wet on it. And I don't mind it being like this. Now, I am going to stamp around these edges, though. But I want to wipe this off. Now, even though I could take it to the bathroom at any time, or to my kitchen sink, which I won't take it to my kitchen sink. I do it in my bathroom sink. Okay, let's put this in here. Because I have up here, I want to put, I have a textured stencil that I want to use to put around the edges, and I probably should have done that before I stamped, but I want to get this wiped off like this. Even though it's oxide, and I know that I can take it anytime. I want to make sure I get the majority of it wiped off here. So I want to take my textured stencil, and I want to take it around the edges. Okay, so, oh, I got that pretty clean. Oh, except right here on the edge. All right, so let's get this over here so I remember where it goes. Now, I want to use my splatter stencil around these edges, but I don't want to do it on here. So we're going to take this off, and I want to leave the bird, and he's just going to sit there. Just like that. And your little magnets for storage, they just stay in there. Okay. And then for the splatter stencil, and of course we're going to have something similar in our book. I can lay this right over top, and I want the little things, and I'm going to use the Vintage Photo. No, you know what? I think we're not. I think we're going to use maybe the Gathered Twigs. I think that's what we're going to use. We're going to use the Gathered Twigs, and I'm going to use my little brush. See how small it is? because I want to be very careful. And I just want to just a little bit around the edges, just like this, so it's not bare, just like that, you know, just to give it a little bit. But I want the bird to stay there, so I remember where it is. And I'm going to move this up a little bit. Oops, get out of my way. And I'm just tapping it. And I want just a little bit of different. All right, let's bring you over here. Move. Okay, so I want some of this over here. That tells me where it is there, so I see it. There we go. And I don't put something there that I don't want. Okay. Now, let all that dry. Okay, so that gives me just a little bit around it. Now, had I thought about it, I'd have done that first, but I didn't think about it because I don't want this in the background there. So, I can go on and glue the bird on. And, oh, that's empty. So, I need to fill that. So, I'm just going to go on and use my Fabri-Tac. I know nothing will. I know my little bird won't get all bendy. And I inked around his little edges so he can sit right here. I want him kind of right. I don't want him actually right in the middle. Move him down here a little bit. And I'm scooting him down. I want a little piece of paper underneath him. Where'd my inker go here? Here it is. Oops, come here, you. I want this underneath him. Come on, Lord, be quick. All right, little bird, hold on here, little dude. There we go, right there. Just like that. And we're going to put this underneath him here. Just like this. Nice and quick. And we're going to just whatever's left on this is what I ran over the paper. Now our little bird's not just kind of, you know, hanging out in the middle of nowhere. There we go. There we go. Just like that. Now, I can either actually make this into a tag if I choose, but I don't think I will. I'm just going to leave him like this. But what I may do is I may add something right there to cover that up. I just don't know what I'm going to do yet. I'm going to let this finish drying here for a minute. Now, on our page in our book, I am going to take our bubbles again, and I'm going to use our bigger one, and I'm going to go across the top, and I'm going to take some across the bottom on both sides, just like that. And then I'm going to take some music notes right here. And this is what happens when you stamp, use your stamp with ink, and you fail to clean them quickly. So if you're going to use ink on a stamp, you want to make sure that you clean them quickly, because I did not, and then it stains them. So if you're going to use ink on a stamp, make sure you clean them quickly, okay? So I need to put some oxide on here and see which way my music notes are going, because I can't tell. I guess it doesn't matter, does it? Okay, so we're going to make a little pocket on here to put some ephemera in. And what color do we want to use? Well, here's one of the things we're going to be putting in there. And we've got some reds and yellows and browns and greens. And I think we're just going to go maybe hog wild and pig crazy. And no, we are not going to use that color. But I think we might use maybe Shabby Shutters. Or what about, let's use Mowed Lawn. Let's use Mowed Lawn. Yeah, I think I like that color. Let's use that color. Let's see what that color looks like. I haven't used that in a while. So let's make a test one of it. All right, there's Mowed Lawn right there. I kind of like that color. So we're going to use that color on here. And it's not going to cover it all the way, but that's all right. So we're going to stamp it on here. Just like this. And I think we're going to need our block to make sure we get this covered here. Because this is another one that doesn't get used. The stamp just doesn't get used very often. But that's okay if it's not one of these that gets a clean stamp on it. That's all right. I don't mind that. I don't mind it being, you know, being a little hazy daisy. I don't mind that. Let's let it sit on the paper. This is watercolor paper, so it's got to soak it up a little bit. Let's go on and put this away. And we're done with the gathered twigs. Okay. That should do it. Ooh, I like that color. Gosh, I haven't used that color in a long time. All right. Now, where's our little pocket we were going to make? All right, I've already lost it. Uh-oh, I think I was using it for my stamps. I think we might have to cut another one. No, that one wasn't it. All right. Oh, here it is. Okay, well, now what are we going to stamp on it? Well, let's put... Well, we don't need our birds. We've already picked out our bird that we're going to do. Now, what do we want to put on it? How about, let's see, we're putting little birds in there. How about we put some book page on it? Let's just use let's use this, and let's put some book page on it. Let's go on and I'm just using this. Let's sit it down here. Oh, that's not giving me what I want. So let's use our dauber. Oh, that's better. Now, this little pocket will serve a couple of purposes. Oh, much better. It'll house some little pieces of ephemera. So as we're working in our books, here we go. As we're working in our books, it will house a couple of pieces of ephemera. So as we're working and we need something little, like maybe we need something little like this little piece of birds for something. It'll be there and we won't have to go through and pull out our big, here we go. We won't have to pull out our big piece of, or our big thing like this. You know, we won't have to pull this out. We'll already have a piece right here in our journal. We can just flip back to this little page and say, well, right here's a little piece of birds that we can use. We'll just use this on our page and we're good. So in this little art journal, we'll have some supplies that we need. There we go. Oh, I need glue on it, don't I? And I always have a little pocket in all my little art journals for this. And I enjoy them. And sometimes I even make, I take some other little scraps of the pages that I've created, and I put those in it, because you never know. You know, we might decide we want to decorate. You know, we might want to make flip outs. And I've decided that, you know, maybe I need these pages, or maybe I want to make a flip out with an envelope. And instead of, you know, searching all over someplace for, you know, for the envelope, it's right there. And right there it is. And I've already got it created, so maybe I'll put some little pieces of that in there too. And it's already the size I need, and it's already to go. All I have to do is put it on the page I need. Okay, so now my pocket's created. All I have to do is trim it down off my edges. Right here. Let's get my edges trimmed. Just like this. And let me get my little corner punch here. That's not a corner punch, Lori, you silly girl. That's my top. I think I want my top edges rounded a little bit. Just a little bit. Just a smidgen. Just like that. And okay, and I think I want this right here. Just right there. Oh, you know what? I think before I do that, I'm going to schmuck it up a little bit. Just a little bit. Just to add some character. There. I like that better. I like that better. Now, if you want to make your pocket, you know, a little different, you could add watercolor to it. You could add different colors of ink to it. You could just, you know, do whatever you want to it. You don't even have to make it out of watercolor paper like I did. You could make it out of an envelope. You could make it out of anything you wanted. And you could decorate it any way you wanted. All right, so now my little journal has a little pocket. There we go. Just like that. All right, let's get the cap on this glue and put it away. Let's get the pin in this glue. Well, maybe, if I can see the hole. There we go. And put it away. Let's put this away. And now my little bird, because I'm pretty sure I'll be using another little bird. He'll go right there. And my little book page will go in there also, because I'm sure I'll use book page someplace else in my little journal. And I most likely will use some more of this, so I'm going to make that a little bit smaller, but I'll put it in there. That will go in there also. And there we go. In our little art journal, we've created a little pocket that can house a few little pieces for all of these pages back here, so that I don't have to go searching all over my craft room for them. And if I want to, I could take a little piece of an envelope when I'm ready. You know, if I wanted to, I could go on and make a little flip for a little storage envelope. Oh, golly, that would even be great. And here's the little card that we made today. And if you wanted, if I could go on and cut this out and make this into a tag. And that's still an option. I may still do that. So to add to my journal. Here's the one I made for yesterday. So my card collection is growing. My journal collection is growing. Here's my page from yesterday. Let's see. There's my page from yesterday. There's the page we did the other day. So our pages are growing in here. Our little journal's growing. There's the one I did the other day. So it's been a lot of fun working with you guys. I'm so glad you joined me today on our Thursday adventure. I'm so glad you did. It's so much, this is becoming so much fun working with you guys on our, oops, I gotta wipe that off, don't I? On our Thursday adventures, Mondays and Thursdays adventures in our art journals. I'm so glad you're working with me. And here at the Ladybug Journals. And don't forget, you can like and share them. Here, let me put it here so you can see them. You can like and share our videos. And if you haven't subscribed, you know how to do those. The buttons are right below the videos. So all you got to do is push the buttons. And until I see you next time in our next video, ta-ta for now.